your urging of corporate sponsors to consider human rights in their dealings with China. Seeing that money may speak the loudest, how do you recommend that human rights organizations engage these sponsors?
Oh, human rights organizations, we have continuing dialogue with multinational corporations. And we urge them to incorporate human rights in all the activities, wherever they do. It may be China, it could be US, it could be anywhere. On China, we have some bad experience, by the way. In the internet issue, Yahoo basically gave information of a local journalist called Shi Tao. And China imprisoned him for 10 years on the strength of Yahoo's information. So we are concerned. But at the same time, we have shareholders who are putting pressure. And also, we want corporations at this moment, especially the sponsoring organizations, sponsoring corporate giants, to make sure that they feel comfortable going to China when things are, at least they feel comfortable going there without any hesitation that outside the gate people are being abused.
Next question. Yes, sir.
From the Radio Free Asia. What I think about with the human rights issue, what do you think about the U.S. government's role and other international community, just government's role? What do you think?
United have a responsibility in its foreign policy to promote and protect human rights around the world. That's why they have a special department within the State Department called Democracy, Human Rights and Labor, which, by the way, they are doing a great job. But the point is, the Human Rights Bureau's recommendations and their concerns should be incorporated in US foreign policy. So we are urging US administration, President Bush, you have spoken up about religious freedom in China. We have not heard a word until now from you about Olympics. We urge you to make a public statement that you expect, as the President of United States, you expect some improvements in human rights in the run-up to the Olympics. We hope he does it. He always speaks about freedom and liberty and democracy. We hope he also means what he has been saying all these years. We also want Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice to integrate human rights in the run-up to the Olympics when they are dealing with China. We want to know what type of structure, what type of policy you have in place. To our knowledge, it's a mystery what's happening within the State Department when it comes to human rights and Olympics. So we are urging Secretary Rice to clear this mystery. What policy, what do you have in mind? That there is Olympics going to take place, thousands of journalists are going to go there, hundreds of corporate sponsors are going to go there, US athletes are going to be there. What is your plan? What is your strategy? So we are also urging Secretary Rice to make it public. Finally, US Congress. When the administration waffled in human rights, it is the Congress that stood up. And we hope when the Congress returns from the August recess, China, human rights, and Olympics will be in the top of the agenda. We believe in members of Congress and senators, and we believe in the people of the United States who chose them, that they will exert enough pressure on their representatives to stand up for rights of Chinese in the run-up to Olympics. On that note, I would like to announce that tomorrow, Wednesday, August 8th, at 5:30, we are organizing a huge rally outside the Chinese embassy in Washington, D.C. And we are expecting members from different backgrounds showing up to raise their concerns. And these members will also exert pressure on their representatives to stand up. So we hope not only the United States, world at large, not demand, but urge China to improve its human rights so that they can have some meaningful relationship and some meaningful way of participating in these great games that's coming up in 2008.
Next question. Anybody? Yes, sir.
Hello, Evan Moore, Cybercast News Service. Why has Amnesty International not placed a greater emphasis on China's crackdown of religious groups such as Christian home churches and Falun Gong and other organized religions and sects?
No, the re-education through labor is being used to imprison religious groups as well as Falun Gong practitioners. Whether you can call them religion or not is the issue. Actually, hundreds, if not thousands of religious adherents, including Falun Gong practitioners, have been imprisoned under that re-education through labor camps. And they have been abused, tortured, and some died. Hundreds have died during torture. So we are actually going through the structure. And by highlighting the structure, we are highlighting the abuses against religious minorities as well. The journalists, internet issues, these are all linked to religious issues as well as other issues. So the theme we took, all the 4 areas we took, human rights defenders, death penalty, it all cuts across every issue in China that is of concern to every one of us. So religious freedom is one of the issues that is going to benefit if re-education through labor is abolished, if death penalty, the number of offenses for death penalty is reduced, and if human rights defenders are not harassed and released. And lastly, media and internet internet bloggers have freedom to write anything they want, of course not advocating violence, but freedom of expression. This all cuts across every sector of China society, which have been abused by this Chinese government all these years. We have seen some improvements in allowing some freedom to some of the human rights defenders. But when you analyze those human rights defenders, one thing is clear, that they don't challenge the status quo of the government. So what the Chinese government is doing is, they are kind of showing to the world, oh, here we have released someone, we have allowed someone to go to Hong Kong or some overseas country, foreign country. But they are selective in allowing people who don't challenge their status quo. What they are abusing are the people who are really standing up for human rights, and which Chinese feel is going to challenge their status quo. But that's, they can't be choosy. They have to give freedom to everyone. That's our concern. That's our request to Chinese government. And we hope that Chinese government respect and open up China when Olympics opens in August 8, 2008. There are numerous concerns we have, by the way, in China. We only selected 4. We are talking about, I mentioned 80% of the world's executions are taking place in China. We have documented harvesting of organs from Chinese executed prisoners without their consent. When they were alive, they never got meaningful consent. Half an hour before you execute, you can't find any human being in a very sensible mood to give consent that, okay, you can remove certain parts. That has become a business there.